Have you been feeling like more people are noticing you lately? Like eyes seem to follow you when you enter a room? Or strangers smile at you for no reason? Or conversations start flowing easier than before? That's not a coincidence. Something inside you is shifting. Your energy is rising. And the universe is making sure you become aware of the magnetic power growing within you. When your vibration changes, the world reacts. The way people respond to you is often a reflection of what's happening in your inner world. You may not see it clearly yet, but you are beginning to radiate a frequency that speaks louder than words. It's not about looks, money, or status. It's about the silent force that comes from authenticity, healing, and alignment. This new attention is not meant to inflate your ego. It's meant to awaken your awareness. The universe wants you to realize that something sacred within you is unfolding, a version of you that's stepping closer to truth, purpose, and light. The hidden reason. People are drawn to you. When you begin to heal and align with your higher self, you start to emit a different kind of energy. It's subtle, yet powerful. People can sense it even if they can't explain why. They feel calmer, safer, or more alive around you. They're not just attracted to your appearance, they're drawn to your vibration. The truth is, energy doesn't lie. You've done inner work, maybe through solitude, pain, prayer, or reflection. You've let go of what no longer serves you, even when it hurt. That process has cleared space for higher frequencies to move through you. And now, that frequency radiates outward like light through glass. People feel it. Some may admire it, some may envy it, but all of them notice it, because light is impossible to ignore once it's been turned on. You see, attraction isn't about performance or pretending, it's about resonance. When your soul starts vibrating at a higher level, it calls to other souls like a song only the awakened can hear. That's why some people feel deeply connected to you out of nowhere, as if they've known you forever. The new energy rising from within. You may have noticed that you feel lighter these days, more at peace, or strangely detached from old patterns. That's the rise of your new energy. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you've always been. This energy isn't something you force or create. It naturally emerges when you stop resisting growth. It's the quiet power that comes after deep emotional storms. It's what's born after the ego breaks, and the soul finally breathes. You might find that your intuition has sharpened. You sense people's intentions without words. You know when something aligns with your spirit or not. You trust yourself more, even when you don't have all the answers. That self-trust makes you magnetic because it reflects confidence without arrogance. People are drawn to that, not because you seek attention, but because you radiate wholeness, and wholeness is rare. The art of natural attraction. True attraction can't be faked. It's not about charm or calculated effort. It's the byproduct of authenticity. When you're aligned with who you truly are, you don't chase, you attract. This doesn't mean you'll suddenly become universally liked. In fact, as your vibration rises, some people may pull away. They might feel uncomfortable around your light because it mirrors their own shadows. But the ones meant for you, the ones walking a similar path, will find comfort in your presence. Your natural attraction is formed by alignment between your inner and outer worlds. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions reflect your truth, you radiate harmony. And harmony in energetic terms is irresistible. You've probably noticed that people listen differently when you speak now. Your words carry weight, even when you say little. That's because your voice is no longer just sound. It's energy shaped by intention. You don't need to prove your worth anymore. You simply exist in your authenticity, and that is enough. Signs you're leveling up in life. The increased attention you're receiving is only one sign of your spiritual ascension. There are others too, often subtle yet powerful. You may recognize these shifts. Old triggers don't control you anymore. What once caused chaos now barely stirs you. You've developed emotional sovereignty. Your circle feels smaller, but more genuine. The need for validation fades as you prioritize depth over quantity. You crave peace more than excitement, Drama feels exhausting. Silence feels sacred. Synchronicities increase. You keep seeing repeating numbers, hearing the same phrases, or meeting people who share the same message. 5. You feel unseen support. Even in solitude, you sense the universe guiding you. Gentle nudges, inner whispers, and timely coincidences. Your creativity blooms. Ideas flow effortlessly. You're inspired by simple things. The universe is speaking through your imagination. 7. Your boundaries strengthen. You no longer tolerate energy that drains you. Protecting your peace becomes an act of love, not fear. These are all signals that your vibration is rising, that you're stepping into a higher timeline where authenticity is your currency and peace is your power. Why your presence inspires others. Without even trying, your presence now awakens something in others. Maybe they start believing more in themselves after talking to you. Maybe they find courage in your calmness or hope in your resilience. You've become a mirror for what's possible. When people see you glowing after pain, they realize healing is real. When they sense your calm amidst chaos, they remember that peace is attainable. You remind them, not through preaching but through being, that transformation is possible. This is why the universe is amplifying your presence. You're not being noticed for vanity. You're being positioned for purpose. The light within you is needed in dark places, and your authenticity gives others permission to be real too. The energy you carry isn't just for you. It's for those who are silently praying for a sign, a spark, or a reason to believe again. Maintaining balance in the spotlight. As this magnetism grows, it's vital to stay grounded. Not everyone who notices you will have good intentions. Some will come to take, not to give. That's why discernment is key. Guard your energy like a sacred flame. Stay humble. Stay clear. Remember that your power comes from alignment, not attention. The moment you start performing for validation, your light begins to flicker. Spend time in solitude. Return often to the quiet places where you first met your true self. The world may see your glow, but only you know the fire it took to ignite it. Gratitude will keep you balanced. Each time you feel that energetic pull, people drawn to you, opportunities unfolding, say thank you to the universe, not because you think you earned it, but because you understand it's a reflection of divine timing. The invisible transformation. You've reached a point where your inner growth is visible even if you haven't said a word about it. That's what true transformation looks like. It speaks through aura, posture, tone, and silence. People can't always explain why they're drawn to you. They just feel safer, inspired, or uplifted when you're near. That's because your energy now carries peace, something the modern world desperately craves. The universe works through you to remind others of their own light. So even when you feel unseen or misunderstood, know this. Your energy is working in ways beyond your awareness. Every kind gesture, every word spoken from sincerity, every act of compassion ripples outward far beyond what you can measure. You're becoming magnetic because you're becoming real. At its core, what's happening is simple. You're returning to your essence. You're shedding layers of fear, shame, and pretense. You're no longer trying to fit a mold, you're shaping one. And that kind of authenticity is magnetic because it's rare. In a world of facades, truth shines like gold. People may not always know what changed in you, but they'll feel it. You've stopped needing to chase anything: approval, love, success, and because of that, everything starts gravitating toward you naturally. That's the paradox of spiritual magnetism. When you stop seeking, you start attracting. When you stop proving, you start receiving. When you stop pretending, you start shining. The universe is affirming you. Every time someone compliments your presence, every time a stranger smiles at you, every time an opportunity appears effortlessly, it's the universe whispering, "Keep going." You're aligned. This attention isn't a test of your vanity, it's a confirmation of your growth. The world is responding to your inner evolution. You've raised your vibration, and now reality is rearranging itself to meet you at your new level. It's not luck, it's resonance. Remember, your energy introduces you before you speak. When you've done the inner work, your spirit carries a signature that others can feel. You don't have to announce your transformation. Your presence announces it for you. When your soul begins to awaken, something remarkable happens. You stop chasing the world, and the world starts finding its way to you. The glances, the conversations, the unexpected messages, the subtle moments of recognition, they're all signs that your frequency is expanding beyond what it once was. You may feel like you're being seen for the first time, but in truth, you're simply becoming visible to those who can finally perceive your light. You've crossed an invisible threshold. The old version of you lived in survival, trying to be enough. But this newer energy you're carrying isn't trying. It is. It doesn't push or beg. It emanates and attracts. That's the difference between the energy of lack and the energy of embodiment. When you embody peace, confidence, and self-acceptance, your very presence begins to do the speaking. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. The universe reflects it back to you through people who suddenly see what was always there. The subtle shift that changes everything. There's a quiet moment in every awakening when you realize you've stopped reacting and started observing. That's the moment your power begins to stabilize. Before, your energy might have fluctuated wildly, excitement one day, anxiety the next. Now your inner world feels calmer. You've learned to protect your peace without closing your heart. That stability radiates outward. People sense it. They may not know how or why, but your presence makes them feel anchored. They can't quite explain it, but being near you brings relief, like breathing in clarity after a storm. That's because your energy has become a sanctuary. You've done the inner cleaning and now your aura feels like home. But remember, this glow didn't come cheap. You earned it through nights of self-doubt, through heartbreaks that cracked you open, through silence that felt unbearable. You've walked through shadows to reach this light, and now the world feels it. Attraction, as a reflection of alignment, you've probably noticed that things are beginning to flow differently. Opportunities align faster. Conversations feel synchronistic. People who once ignored you are now curious. This isn't random. It's the universe mirroring back your internal coherence. When you were fragmented, torn between who you were and who you were becoming, your energy sent mixed signals. But now that you've accepted yourself, your vibration is unified, and the external world reflects that unity. It's important to understand that this attraction isn't about seduction. It's about resonance. You're resonating with people, places, and experiences that match your new level of consciousness. That's why old environments feel heavy now. That's why some friendships fade. It's not rejection. It's energetic mismatch. You can't dim your frequency just to stay where you've outgrown. The light in you demands expansion. The balance between magnetism and humility. With rising attention comes a deeper test. Can you stay humble in the glow? The universe gives visibility not as a reward, but as responsibility. When your energy becomes magnetic, people will project their desires, dreams, and even their wounds onto you. Some will be inspired, others will be triggered. Your task is to stay anchored in your truth amidst it all. Humility doesn't mean shrinking or hiding your light. It means remembering where it comes from. You're not the source, you're the vessel. The energy that flows through you belongs to something higher, something divine. Your role is to channel it with grace, and when you do, your magnetism grows stronger. True power doesn't boast. It whispers. It moves quietly, but its effects are undeniable. That's why some people can't explain their connection to you. They simply feel something sacred and grounding in your presence. You've become a reminder of what authenticity feels like. And in a world starving for truth, that's irresistibly magnetic. Protecting the light. With more attention, however, comes the need for deeper discernment. Not everyone drawn to your light intends to nurture it. Some come to feed on it. Energy attracts energy, and light often calls the darkness, not for punishment, but for purification. Protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's sacred duty. Learn to recognize when someone approaches you from need rather than resonance. You'll feel it as a pull, a drain, a sudden fatigue after interaction. Trust those signals. Your intuition knows long before your mind does. Establish energetic boundaries with kindness. You can say no without anger. You can retreat without guilt. Silence and solitude are not signs of isolation. They are forms of spiritual hygiene. The world may be drawn to your glow, but remember, even the sun needs to set to restore its fire. The magnetic field of the heart science calls it electromagnetism. Mystics call it vibration. Both point to the same truth. Your heart emits a measurable field of energy that influences the world around you. The stronger your coherence, your alignment of thought, emotion, and spirit, the wider and more harmonious your energetic field becomes. When you love yourself deeply and live with integrity, that field expands. People within it begin to attune subconsciously. That's why they feel lighter around you, why they share their secrets, why they feel seen. You're not doing anything. Your energy is doing the work. This is the purest form of attraction. It's the silent language of the heart. It transcends appearances and words. It's the soul saying, I see you, beyond all illusions. The heart is where your divinity and humanity meet. It's where your personal energy fuses with the universal pulse. When you live from that space, you become both grounded and luminous, the perfect balance of heaven and earth, the rising spiral of consciousness. Every rise in energy is a rise in consciousness. You begin to see life differently. The same streets, the same faces, the same routines now hold new meaning. You perceive layers beneath the obvious, intentions behind words, lessons behind challenges, synchronicities behind delays. This expanded awareness makes you magnetic because it frees you from fear. People sense that liberation. You no longer operate from anxiety or scarcity, but from trust. Trust is magnetic because it vibrates at the frequency of abundance. It's also contagious. Those around you start mirroring it. They begin to soften, open, and align, not because you preached, but because your energy gave them permission. That's how transformation spreads quietly, one awakened soul at a time. The subtle glow of inner confidence. There's a distinct difference between external confidence and inner confidence. External confidence depends on validation, compliments, recognition, success. Inner confidence flows from knowing who you are even when no one's watching. The new energy rising within you is built on that inner foundation. It doesn't crumble when criticized or inflate when praised. It's steady, serene, unshakable. That's what others are responding to. You've become comfortable in your own frequency. You no longer chase approval because your worth feels self-evident. You've learned that true attraction isn't about being desired, it's about being aligned. When you're aligned, desire flows naturally, not desperately. This calm assurance is magnetic because it speaks to something ancient in the human spirit, the longing for authenticity, the mirror effect. When your vibration rises, you start acting as a mirror for others. Your energy reflects back the state of their own. That's why reactions to you vary. Some people adore you. Some feel intimidated. Some don't understand you at all. Don't take it personally. They're not responding to you. They're responding to what you awaken in them. You remind them of their own potential, and not everyone is ready for that reflection. Still, your role is not to fix or convince anyone. Simply be. Those who are meant to evolve with you will naturally align. Those who aren't will fade. That's how spiritual gravity works. The role of silence in magnetism. In a noisy world, silence has become a rare luxury. Yet silence is one of the most powerful tools for maintaining your energy. It's in silence that you recharge, recalibrate, and remember. When you practice stillness, even for a few minutes a day, you tune back into the frequency of your soul. You realign with divine order. And that inner stillness radiates as confidence, clarity, and mystery. People feel drawn to those who are comfortable in silence because it signals inner peace. You no longer need to fill every space with noise or words. Your energy communicates enough. That's the secret. Your calmness speaks louder than your voice ever could. The spiritual anatomy of attraction. At its essence, your magnetism is spiritual. It's not something you learn, it's something you remember. Your soul has always carried this radiance. It's just that now, the layers of fear and self-doubt are peeling away. Think of yourself as a crystal once covered in dust. The crystal was always beautiful, but now that the dust is gone, its light can pass through unfiltered. That's you, shining, because you've finally stopped dimming yourself to fit in. This is why the universe is amplifying your visibility. Your energy serves a purpose, to awaken others, to anchor light, to remind humanity what authenticity looks like in motion. You didn't choose to be magnetic. Your spirit became magnetic because it chose truth. Letting go of the need to understand. Sometimes trying to make sense of this transformation can be overwhelming. You might wonder, why now? Why me? But the truth is, your mind doesn't need to understand what your soul already knows. There comes a point in every awakened soul's journey where visibility becomes both a blessing and a burden. You begin to notice that people are drawn to you not only for what you do, but for what you are. Your energy, your peace, your quiet confidence. It speaks in ways your mouth never could. You've entered a stage where your existence itself is a message. The universe has turned up the volume of your vibration, and now others hear it. They sense the frequency of authenticity, the rare tone that only arises from someone who has faced their shadows and emerged radiant. You are no longer someone who seeks to be understood. You are someone who understands. That shift alone makes your presence magnetic. The soft power of inner peace, one of the most powerful energies you now carry, is peace. It's not passive. It's not indifference. It's the strength that comes from surrender, from no longer fighting life, from trusting the process even when it's unclear. Peace changes your aura. It smooths the rough edges of your vibration. People around you feel that, even if they don't have the words for it. Some will tell you they feel safe around you. Others may say your voice calms them, or your eyes seem different. These aren't compliments to your personality. They're reflections of your energy. Inner peace is magnetic because it's rare. Most people live in mental noise, emotional chaos, constant rush. When they encounter someone who radiates stillness, they gravitate toward it instinctively. They crave the energy you embody because it reminds them of what their soul longs for: home, balance, presence. You've become a walking reminder that serenity is possible even in a restless world. And that is precisely why you attract attention now. Not through effort, but through essence. The frequency of wholeness. The universe always mirrors our internal state. When you were fragmented, doubting, chasing, needing, life reflected that back as confusion and inconsistency. But now something has changed. You've begun to operate from wholeness, and the world is responding in kind. Wholeness is when your inner self and outer life start vibrating in harmony. You don't say one thing but feel another. You don't pretend peace while harboring resentment. You've aligned your heart, mind, and action into coherence. And coherence is the foundation of attraction. People who live in pieces are naturally drawn to those who live in peace. They sense in you what they wish to remember in themselves. You've become like a tuning fork for alignment. Wherever you go, energy begins to reorganize itself around your frequency. That's why rooms feel different when you enter. Why conversations shift when you speak. You're not forcing anything, you're simply emitting a signal of harmony, and harmony always draws life toward it. The mystery of your glow, you've probably noticed that some people can't quite explain what draws them to you. They'll say things like, "There's something about you," or "I don't know why, but I feel like I can trust you." That's your glow. It's not about beauty in the conventional sense, it's spiritual radiance. The glow that comes from forgiveness, from gratitude, from choosing to heal instead of hate. Every time you've chosen to respond with compassion instead of anger, every time you've walked away instead of fighting for validation, you've polished the mirror of your soul, and now it reflects light so clearly that others can't help but notice. They're not seeing you exactly. They're seeing through you. They're glimpsing the divine essence you've uncovered within yourself. Your glow is the proof that inner transformation is visible even without words. You've become luminous because you've let go the role of contrast in your awakening. It's easy to forget that your light was born from darkness. The pain you went through wasn't a detour, it was the very path to illumination. Without contrast, you wouldn't understand your own strength or grace. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every period of loneliness, it all stripped away layers that weren't truly you. What remained was essence, pure, unfiltered consciousness, and now that essence emits a frequency that cannot be faked. That's why the attention you receive feels different now. It's not shallow or fleeting. People aren't drawn to an image. They're drawn to authenticity. You've become a living example of transmutation, the alchemy of turning pain into wisdom, fear into compassion, confusion into clarity. That's what people are subconsciously responding to. You are proof that light can emerge from ruin. The energy of non-attachment. Another reason your energy feels magnetic is because you've released the need to control outcomes. You no longer chase people, force timing, or beg the universe for answers. Instead, you trust. Non-attachment doesn't mean apathy. It means surrendering your grip and letting energy flow freely. Ironically, when you stop clinging, things start coming to you naturally. The universe loves an open hand. People sense this openness in you. You no longer carry the desperate, heavy vibration of need. You've replaced it with the lightness of faith. That shift changes how others experience your presence. You no longer drain energy, you circulate it. You no longer demand love, you radiate it. The magnetism you feel now is a byproduct of that spiritual maturity. You've stopped searching for completion in others because you've found it within, and nothing is more attractive than a soul that no longer needs to be rescued. The language of presence, the attention you receive now isn't because you're doing more, it's because you're being more. Presence is a language that doesn't need words. It's the feeling people get when you're fully there. Not distracted, not preoccupied, just deeply here. That energy is irresistible in a world addicted to elsewhere. When you listen without judgment, when you speak from truth, when your gaze meets another's with warmth, you create micro-miracles. People walk away from interactions with you feeling lighter, clearer, more alive. They may not know why, but you do. It's presence. Your energy field has become a sanctuary, and those who cross your path can feel the difference. They might describe it as peace or kindness or even mystery, but what they're really sensing is divine consciousness moving through you effortlessly. The subtle tests of rising energy. With growth comes new challenges. You'll notice not just positive attention, but also projection, jealousy, and misunderstanding. That's the nature of light. It reveals both beauty and shadow. Don't let these reactions shake you. The brighter you shine, the more visible you become, and visibility attracts all kinds of energy. Your task is not to please everyone, but to remain centered in truth. You'll find that staying neutral becomes one of your greatest powers. You don't have to react to everything. You can witness without absorbing, understand without agreeing, love without losing yourself. The universe will keep testing your detachment until your peace becomes unshakable. Each time you remain calm instead of defensive, compassionate instead of bitter, your energy ascends another octave. Living as a channel of light, as your vibration rises, your role in the collective shifts. You stop living only for yourself and start serving a greater rhythm. You become a vessel through which inspiration, healing, and wisdom flow naturally. You'll notice that people start coming to you for guidance, not because you claim to have all the answers, but because your presence reminds them of their own. This is the sacred responsibility of awakening. The light within you isn't meant to be hoarded. It's meant to ripple outward, quietly touching lives that cross your path. You don't have to try to be a healer, a teacher, or a guide. Your vibration does the teaching for you. Every smile, every word of encouragement, every calm response in chaos becomes a transmission of light. You are serving simply by existing in authenticity. Recognizing the divine mirror, at this stage of your evolution, every person you meet serves as a reflection. The ones who admire you show the parts of you that have healed. The ones who challenge you mirror the fragments still in progress. Instead of judging or reacting, learn to observe. Each encounter becomes a classroom for the soul. Every experience, and pleasant or painful, offers insight into your vibration. This awareness keeps your energy expanding. You no longer label experiences as good or bad. You see them as mirrors. You begin to live in a state of gratitude, realizing that even discomfort is a teacher in disguise, and that gratitude multiplies your light. The quiet revolution. Within, you may feel like you've changed quietly, without fanfare, but the transformation inside you is revolutionary. You're dismantling generations of fear-based patterns, scarcity, comparison, guilt, self-doubt. You're rewriting the energetic blueprint of your lineage by choosing consciousness over chaos. That's why your energy feels magnetic, because it carries freedom. Freedom from conditioning. Freedom from self-sabotage. Freedom from needing permission to exist. The universe celebrates every time a human soul reaches this frequency, because your healing contributes to the collective evolution of consciousness. Every light that awakens makes the world a little brighter. So, even when it feels like your journey is personal, it's not. You're part of something cosmic. The sacred solitude. Behind the glow, people might see your glow and assume your path is easy. They don't see the solitude behind it, the nights of surrender, the tears that purified your heart, the silence that shaped your wisdom. But solitude wasn't punishment. It was preparation. The universe isolated you not to break you, but to refine your frequency. It needed you alone so you could hear your own truth without interference. And now that solitude bears fruit.